From the China meta to the Europe meta, it does probably look a little strange.
It's completely different. No Underlords, no CKs. There hasn't been a Bloodseeker in a while. It just, I don't even know who these heroes are.
Well, to give you some credit, some of these are also strange for Europe for a lot of these other teams. I think OG is one of the only teams that picks up this Underlord as consistently on Amar, and he knows how to play this hero. I'll give him that.
30 seconds.
I have not seen this hero at all. The CK, I think, maybe snuck into one China game. DK's been pretty popular, but I love jumping into a different meta. It is really crazy to see just the stark differences between the two regions, especially when you've got solid picks in each region just showing up time after time. But OG, I know they're definitely not the we pick the norm kind of team.
I would tend to agree. They're very much going to pick in their comfort zone. The heroes they're confident with going into a game like this. And honestly, when I saw this Underlord pick, it is a very Amar-specific hero, but this was also just felt like playing into the hands of this type of hero. Brame loves to do these group-up push lineups. CK, Bloodseeker, Dragon Knight, Chen, even the Coddle. This is Brame's going back to their textbook kind of, we want to run at you, and that's where Underlord excels. This hero's hard to run into in the early mid-game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they can pull off the run at you lineup, if they can, I feel like maybe even pull a little bit of that SEA aggression. If we're going to start mixing up the regions here, SEA aggression, run at them all the time. Don't give them an ounce of breath to air or to breathe, and see what they can do with this one. But it's up top. I think it's going to be interesting with the Underlord. I'm still interested to see how this hero plays out in lane, but we've seen a lot of hoodwink in China, and for me at least, I think Bushwhack's AoE is honestly so big and ridiculous that this hero maybe could use a little bit of a nerf.
It is scary good. I feel like this hero's going to become first phase going to that major unless people figure him out more. And Taiga definitely being able to put this hero to good use. It's interesting that Amar went for this Atrophy or level 1 up top, since that was the lane we were looking at. It's kind of unusual in a lot of these Underlord lanes. Traditionally, you just play for this lane shove with the Firestorm, but he's pretty confident they're going to be able to get the lane back versus Chen. And even bottom, the early links coming out, it's kind of the opposite down bottom. They're pushing this lane in, playing for the pulls versus a Coddle, which doesn't happen every time. So it's just some of OG's early lane setup in their prowess. I feel like they're getting what they want in both of these side lanes already.
Oh, now against the lineup that just wants to run at you like Brame, what's the counterplay have to be from them? What can they not allow OG to do?
I'd say get off to a good start, but it might already be a little late for that. Winning lanes is always the best idea in these push lineups to get the timing, but the upside is their ball is going to be really strong. So what you don't want to have happen is OG gets in a situation where they can punish you for the group up. And that's where if Amar gets off to a really good head start, he can start, whacking your tier 1 with this Abaddon potentially. Then those group ups are going to be punished pretty hard. As well as this Storm. Traditionally, Storm is not a hero who excels when he gets 5-man on with stunning cores, but again, if the early game goes this well for him, you might be able to combat those early rotations.
We saw a Storm in China earlier. It just went 3 straight null talismans, and ooh, hold that thought. Spartan getting a little bit low, and Taiga trying to play that aggression with the hoodwink, but neither one will fall. Is that the Europe plan as well? 3 null talismans, build from there on the Storm Spirit?
I think it's definitely 2 to 3 range, basically into early Kaya potentially, or just fast BKB, tread triple null BKB some games we've seen. But this was a last pick Storm, and he really only has to think about this Dragon Knight stun. The Chaos Bolt, I would say, is more reliable in terms of dodging it. So his job is, find the Chen, find the Coddle. Even this Bloodseeker matchup's super good for him. This is a game Storm's going to scale like a beast.
Yeah, given that loud scream ready to go as that Storm came out.
Trying to outmatch Spartan there. The mind games.
There really is just a finite amount of energy allowed on the planet at one time, as proven by Goku taking it all in Dragon Ball Z. Or BZM's trying to do the same. If you're OG fans, you're putting your hands up right now and saying, take my energy. Match their energy. Match Brame's energy as best you can.
It's a good way to fight them, for sure. Don't want to let them get too far ahead in that mental warfare.
EZM, though, in trouble at the moment. Dragon Tail comes out, and first blood would be there for Thug with the help of Spartan coming over on the Chen.
That's a
So
huge
trying
kill.
to shut down the energy.
Usually I don't think of Chen being able to rotate and gank a mid-storm, but just caught him out on the rune, and now it's going to propel this Thug Dragon Knight to a pretty nice XP advantage. I would really like to see them leverage it from here, because if Spartan, we've seen him play this Chen before, he likes to leave the lane early. This Bloodseeker is going to be mostly independent. He might get pushed in and dove, but he's pretty high level, and now you have an almost level 6 Dragon Knight versus level 5 Storm. Pretty decent window to do something with it, but Spartan looks like he has eyes on bottom here.
Yeah, trying to come through on bottom. Static link from Yuragi onto 11, but the chase is on with Spartan adding a +1 to the bottom lane.
Other Chaos Bolt.
Yuragi, he's going to be hit by the Chaos Bolt. 1 second stun. Maybe not the RNG was hoping for, but it's more than enough to get the kill, and Spartan will end up falling in return, but Misha under the tower. The Illuminate doesn't land, and now they've got themselves the Bushwhack, so 11 in a little bit of an odd spot under this tower as the Acorn shot hits, and it's a little bit tough to have the damage as a Hoodwink as well as an Abaddon, but Abaddon comes in with the Aphotic Shield, and they get the kill on Amisha. 11's still fighting Taiga, but eventually he will get traded. He also loses his courier with boots on it.
An odd
back and
exchange.
forth.
Yeah. That initial Chen gank was pretty nice. They just get this Razor kill. The CK is still pretty high HP. I don't know if the second end of that was worth it, but the flip side is Thug, he's going to pop this DK ult mid and start beating his tower with the catapult. But OG, off the back of those deaths, they can bring both supports to defend it.
And they've come over. They've got Taiga here with Amisha. Thug will see if he's an easy kill to get, but not really much of a chase of on a DK with Elder Dragon form already popped.
Yeah, he's a little too beefy for early Abaddon to output the extra damage. He's TBing top.
And now they've got 3 here for Brame. Amar in some trouble, silenced up. Nabito trying to get the kill here with the help of Thug. And the right clicks will come in, and it will be Thug who claims the life of this Underlord. So some good movements from Brame early on. And well, like you said, with the Chen, not really a hero you expect to move early. He's been everywhere.
For sure. This is how Spartan likes to play the hero. If these moves pay off, it can work. If they don't, he's going to be super low level. But after those 2 kills, already up to level 4, coasting on his way to mech. It's going to be an early mech here. And OG's early damage is kind of spell dependent, and on top of this Storm, this early mech might give them the extra HP they need to kind of commit to these tower pushes behind this Dragon Knight.
Yeah, so the laning started well for OG, but the aggression, the run at you style Dota is starting to pay dividends, and hopefully the graphs keep going up. They're going to try and keep the diamond hands and maybe hope the plays keep continuing this way as they go after Taiga. They've got the silence, and they've got another kill.
This is kind of recovering Nubito's game, who got left alone. So we'll see. Pretty nice
Static
link here.
Bottom. 11 on the run. Miscoil with 1 more right click from Yuragi as, you know, they made the heavy rotations to go get Taiga, but that does leave the CK alone and vulnerable to a play like that where he ends up going down.
OG's doing a decent job of abusing these early aggressive moves. These moves are, they're creating some chaos, they're getting some cheeky kills, but at the same time, OG is usually getting the punish on the other side of the map wherever one of these cores gets alone. Between the Bloodseeker and the CK, their supports have been off the lanes a lot, and the downside is they're getting out-farmed by what I would consider favorable lane matchups at this point in the game. This Underlord is, he's not that easy to just stand there and CS against, especially when you don't have a way to get him low, power up that Bloodseeker passive.
And we really, except for the kills that have kind of come to the Bloodseeker, it feels like he might have a little bit of a struggle, especially he's sitting here only 500 gold ahead of his own Keeper of the Light. Like, Desire's farming pretty well for this Coddle. Bloodseeker, it's probably not the ideal spot to already be 1100 gold behind Yuragi.
Definitely not. This is a hero you usually want to get ahead with. The upside is, you know, his Dragon Knight had a really good game, and that is the hero they can play around to open up the map, so he can catch up on the back of that. And Bloodseeker's a cleanup hero, you know? You set the stage for him, he'll come in, he'll eat all the low HP pies, so to say, and power himself up. But then it's a question of how does Brame set that fight up? And one of the things I was questioning during this draft is, do they have the heroes that are going to get OG low in the first place? Especially through some of the Abaddon sustain, through the tankiness of this Underlord Razor. You know, this Chen, not traditionally one of the best pairs with this Bloodseeker in terms of amping him up, though he can give him some survivability. So I think it's going to be a balance that Brame has to consider as we go into the mid game here.
Yeah, with the good start from the Dragon Knight, now having the mech on Spartan pretty early. Gotta wonder if Brame are just going to keep the game plan of running at you and hoping that the mech is enough, but always getting through Abaddon and his Aphotic Shield is going to be an issue, and Spartan may have just found himself caught. Certainly has with BZM showing up to the party, and he'll claim the life of the Chen, who didn't complete the mech just yet. But I don't think even if he had that, he survives in that situation anyway. And now they go for the double damage. It's bottled up by Thug. They're looking over at Taiga as they've used this Rupture. So support's going down across the map. And it's a 1-for-1 across said map as they do end up getting the hoodwink.
Once more, playing around this Dragon Knight, kind of using him to get a little more XP and gold from Nobido. They're making a move on this DK.
Yeah, 11 in some trouble, throws out a 2-second stun, but they've got the Aphotic Shield. It really just doesn't feel like there is enough for him to survive, and there certainly isn't. He goes into the trees, maybe looking for a juke, but BZM, despite the fact that he had that early death, is now starting to move around the map and find himself a couple of picks with his team. This is a real good spot for the Storm now.
He's definitely powering up. The triple Nolan Treads online. They have the blink on Thug, immediately smoke with it, and that double damage rune. Desire up top. He's just been shoving this wave out. Pretty annoying for Amar, who would like to start beating into that tower, but he does have TP on this Underlord, and he's 4-0-4. No pit yet, but this Max Firestorm is going to do a lot of work in these early fights if they choose to engage with it. Looks like Agi might just go down.
To go for your Agi, yeah. Bottled that double damage earlier.
Definitely doing work on the back of the Penitent's attack speed with that double damage, and might just be this tier 1. So the push is starting here from Brame. It's going to be a question of, again, does OG just go for trades on the map? Do they want to contest these fights with the Underlord? That's where this hero excels. It's the question they have to answer.
Would you like to see Amar come off his lane a little bit more to help them? Like, if they had those 3 heroes bottom get the CK, would you have rather him, like, TP in, help push that tower in, and try to start taking these tier 1s on the side of Brame?
I think it's hard. I mean, Amar also likes to, you know, play a little greedy. He likes to farm it up, get to his timing, and then make something happen with it. So it's kind of like, do you want your double crown Underlord TPing bottom and being stuck down there? It's a little risky.
Vortex on the Thug. Trying to get the DK, 3 heroes here again, but here comes Nobido
Chen
trying
heal.
to help out if he can. They've got the Chen heal, they've got the Rupture. Here comes Amar, and they'll get the kill on a Thug. They'll take out Spartan 2, already dropping on the side of Brame, with everybody pretty healthy on the side of OG, but an Illuminate hits onto Taiga as well as Misha. The miscoil, the stun, but he's a bit too far back for them to go after. They've got the Vortex once again, and it's a triple kill for Amar. Well, finally leaves the top lane, and it pays off real well with a triple kill.
You're not going to get a much better entry into the game than that. Just rifts in, gets 3 to 4 man pit into that Firestorm. Making those levels pay off in a huge way. He's top of the net worth chart. That Atos already flying out. This Underlord's going to be a menace on the map, because the earlier you can get this Atos build in this hero, the sooner he kicks off, the sooner he can just start plowing into heroes, threatening the map. Traditionally the weak point of this hero. This is looking spooky for Brame here, because every time this DK goes down as well, that's a huge amount of their momentum lost.
Yeah, they've got this Blink Dagger on Thug. They're trying to use it to get these stuns, but even then, even the stuns they were throwing out, Misha's just ready. He's got the Aphotic Shield. He'll make sure nobody's locked down for too long. And the follow-up from Brame wasn't quite there for them in that last fight either.
Exactly. The heals look great, but where's the damage? Here
Thug
again.
Yeah,
Firestorm.
a lot of trouble. The Firestorm down, Spartan trying to save him with the mech. There's just no way. Amar dominating. From leaving lane to dominating in, I don't know, record time?
That's got to be a 1 or 2 minute dominating streak out of nowhere. Yeah, I guess he answered the question of what is his game impact going to be and when did he choose to use it. He definitely chose the right time.
Just gonna make sure I'm not in the OG lobby. I wasn't criticizing. I was just asking, and he answered pretty quickly. And now 11 goes down. When you can line up the Vortex with the Sharpshooter, this Hoodwink can really start to output quite a bit of damage in Lockdown, where it is another one of those heroes that just feels like the ultimate pain.
And the break this game. We didn't mention it, but he has really good break targets, right? If they ever jump this DK or Bloodseeker, pull him into that Hoodwink ult, now there's some actual value. It kind of reminds me of that Night Stalker Phoenix interaction where you remove his nighttime out of random. You know, you hit this Bloodseeker, he's not a Ferrari anymore.
He gets slowed down to an Oldsmobile. I don't even know if they still make that car, but you can tell by the name they were slow.
Is that a real car? I don't know if I'm getting debated.
No, I'm pretty sure it was a real car at some point.
I have my doubts, but I'll believe you for now.
He should get spotted for a second, but it's just an Illuminate. It's just a Coddle.
Rift
Nothing
bottom.
to really fear.
Interesting Rift. Might even go back through it. Now this is Amar Underlord right here, cleaning up the farm on both side lanes. This is the offlaner I remember, you know. That earlier where he joined the fight, that was just to clean up some kills, but this is how you used Rift, boys. Accelerate even faster into that BKB, and Amar likes to scale this hero through the right click, just getting in there, abusing the aura. He's running around with a huge amount of atrophy bonus damage right now.
Over 200 for a second. He is really hitting hard and moving around the map quite well. Do you like the change from the old ulti to the Fiend's Gate now on Underlord?
Oh, I think it's a huge upgrade. I think we haven't even really seen some of these new offlaners trying to abuse it to its max potential, but I think whenever you change a spell from purely one function to giving it multi-functionality in terms of the offensive and defensive potential, I think that changes heroes a lot. And I think you're going to see this hero move up in some people's priority in terms of the games they're willing to pick it and how they're willing to play it.
It definitely feels like at first it felt like everybody hated the change, and since then it's been undervalued by a lot of teams, right? They're just scared to pick it. I don't know. They just haven't got enough with it yet, but OG's certainly not scared of making the pick, and not only making the pick, but sitting top of the net worth with an Underlord that's moving around the map.
Amar's always going to be happy to play this hero. A hero that cleans up creep waves, scales, and fits his playstyle every time. You know, Dota players, they're always going to be a little adverse to change, you know. They're used to the old ways, they're used to what they know and like. Whenever you change something, it's going to take a little bit to catch up. That's where if you're the first to figure it out, you start abusing it a little ahead of time. You know, like the Harpy creep. If you're the first team that starts using that, it'll win you a few games.
Yeah, that seems like a change inbound and loading at some point.
It's probably in a log somewhere. But Spartan got one of his own, so giving some vision Brame's way, and this game got stalled out a little, but it's time for Nobito to catch up on this Bloodseeker because he was pretty far behind. Be interesting to see again how Brame chooses to take these fights, because I think they're getting beat on a timing here. I think Amar with this full completed BKB, Razor with his BKB, this is not going to be the easiest window for them to try and take fights into.
Yeah, they already struggled to have the lockdown necessary to try and take these team fights, and there's already Misha who's got the Aphotic Shield ready to save anybody who does end up getting stunned. You got 2 BKBs here. It feels like OG are ready to go. Brame still kind of looking for something and kind of going against their own grain of let me just run at you. Now they're forced to sit back, be a little bit more conservative, right? And farm up where they can feel that they're going to be competitive in a fight.
Pretty much, but then it's a question of at what point does that come? I don't know if this is a lineup you want to be conservative with. And even OG, BZM talked about it in that interview, kind of having the defensive route versus Brame. I wouldn't say they're playing defensive, but early Lincolns on Storm, there's got to be some defensive element to that.
Oh, they're going bottom for 11. They've got the Fiend's Gate once again. Amar will get another kill now on a mega kill streak. And they'll all use that Fiend's Gate to go back through and towards the top end of the map.
The spell is powerful, man. It's multi-hero reload across the map. You get a lot of efficiency.
Just get that one transfer.
But as I was saying, I feel like OG has some defensive-oriented itemization. At the same time, they still have more than enough damage, so it's posing this question to Brame of where is your damage going to come from? I don't see this Dragon Knight doing much. I don't see this single armlet CK doing much. Bloodseeker needs early damage to power him up in the fight, and you have to do it through double BKB and a Linken's. It's not going to be the easiest for them.
Yeah, it feels like an uphill battle for sure, and it's a steep one. They've set the treadmill to the highest, and somehow they got to make that climb up. That's it just, they're almost locked out of team fighting.
I tend to agree. It feels like the treadmill turned into a stair machine here, and this is definitely a steep uphill climb, it feels like.
Ball lightning over and finding 11 for a second, but changing the target to Desire for a moment. Maybe not too precise on who they wanted to go after. Could have had one, potentially even a second if they had focused the first target, but just backing out and making sure Brame know, hey, we're here.
And
don't get too comfortable.
Room. This is Roshan time. I was going to say, whenever the enemy refuses to give you the fight, all right, we'll just go Rosh. DD is the best signal for it. This is going to be an early Aegis on this Storm Spirit, who, again, he's so hard to lock down in these fights. OG, they want more on top.
Yeah, it's looking like Brame were thinking about even making their way into the pit, hoping to get something as, well, the Roche attempt to stop for a second. The ball landing all the way over, looking for Desire. Now they've got the static link, and two heroes in some trouble. Taiga gets credit for the kill on a Spartan. Now they'll look for more. Desire taken out, two heroes gone, and back to Roche they go. Why not?
Where is the damage from Brame? Again, Taiga's, he's aggressively running in there for this D-ward. He can't even commit to kill this Hoodwink. I don't know if they're going to be able to commit for anything in a long time in this game, it feels like. Aegis is not going to make it any easier.
No, not at all. The list kind of goes on, right? BKBs, Linken's, Aegis, Aphotic Shield. How are you breaking through any of that? And take a look at this replay. It's really just OG waiting for their moment. They don't need to force too much, and Brame just don't have the damage immediately in with the sharpshooter. They've got the static link. It almost felt like once OG accepted the fight, Brame was like, all right, I'll leave. Let me get out.
Yeah, they kind of poked the bear.
Not my stuff.
The bear was not happy. Exactly. And we saw there too, BZM, OG knows they ever can find this Chen, they ever can find the Coddle first. It's the easiest targets for them to get the highest value. They'll take those every day of the week. And there's not any real BKB lockdown if you use that Rupture on a support like that. It almost killed Taiga, but even if you do, that just gives a free fight to this Razor. This Bloodseeker pick was mainly aimed at using this Rupture to shut him down in the fight. You gotta be careful with how you use the spell. I understand throwing it out because, again, that lack of damage just makes this fight annoying, but at the same time, you might just be unlocking the true fearsome beast on OG's side in a lot of these team fights.
Trying to avoid that if possible. Definitely don't want to awaken anything if you're Brame on OG's side. Yeah, despair, as it says on the screen. This is fine. I'll agree. This is fine, sure. Bottom lane, Spartan and Nubito already getting scouted a little bit. Bushwhack on the edge, and they will catch Spartan. But nobody else really making the complete jump in just yet from the side of OG. They don't need to. This doesn't feel like OG need to go for anything more than what's available to them. And that's exactly what they did in that fight by the Roche pit. Both supports were available to them. They took them, didn't reach for more, didn't give Brame any opportunity to get something back.
Pretty much, and even more defensive itemization. A second Linken's there as we saw it get popped on Yuragi. It's pretty unconventional item choices, I think, for most of the games I've seen this OG squad play. They tend to be more aggressive, but they're just super happy playing for this, maybe 25, 30-minute timing where there's going to be nowhere for Brame to go on the map because all their cores are so confident playing aggressive, playing cocky. And it's taking advantage of the only 2 stuns Brame have in CKDK, both single target.
Spartan getting caught here by BZM. The mech doesn't really do anything. They have more than enough damage, and they'll take his army with him.
That is the saddest feeling as a Chen, losing those creeps in a game like this. There's not going to be many camps to even get them back, so he just got deleted from the game for a pretty decent amount of time here. And OG, they're corralling the map pretty fast here. The lead is growing, making good use of this Aegis on Storm, playing very aggressive. They have the aggressive vision out. A very scary situation for Brame to be in.
Yeah, they're not really able to come out for air. Every time they show, OG is just right there waiting. And they have set up eyes across the map, making sure that if Brame want a little bit of that gold, well, it might cost them.
CM, he's looking. He's got that haste.
And it should be another easy kill here, especially with the sharpshooter. But now the blink as well as the dragon tail. The fireball is down. Oh, this is going in on BZM, who does have the Aegis ready to go. Throw the rupture out. Nabito, though, fighting with Amar, who throws out the nullifier. And Brame just, again, no damage. Just don't have the damage to get it done.
Stands there, right? I mean, what? Your carry's losing the man fight to this offlaner. He's just playing with him going through the rift. Full nullifier online too. That's going to delete a lot of this extra net worth coming in from the Coddle in terms of 4-staff Glimmer. Not being able to save that core that this Underlord chooses to single out. On top of just how much damage this hero deals. I feel like every time we've looked at Amar this game, he's at 100+ bonus damage just casually walking around the map.
Yeah, somewhere in the high hundreds, low 200s. And he's just right-clicking away. Like you said, no fear. He just stands there. He's not afraid of the minuscule amount of damage that's coming in from Brame. But I don't want to harp too much on the lack of damage from Brame. What, like, is there any options here? What's the game plan?
You've got to get one of these fights to get drawn out for a really long time, and you've got to be able to land this rupture on a really good target. I think the best one is Razor, but again, that's where that Lincoln's makes it difficult. Who's going to even pop this Lincoln's? It's got to come down to, I think, Desire. He has a lot of that extra net worth on their side. He has some items. You can maybe aggressively use his Force Staff to pop a Lincoln's, get a good rupture target, and take the long fight with this Chen heal. Hope that Amar does not close the gap and start slamming you down ahead of time.
Well, look for Taiga. They've got the follow-up stun from Centaur Conqueror. They'll take out this Hoodwink to start. And now on the other side, though, they've got the static link on a Nabito as well as the Nullifier. Yuragi just looking to chase the ball landing in from BZM. The BKB still going on for a second longer. There's the heal coming out for the Chen, but they still have enough damage to get Nabito and look over at Spartan. The chase is on for not one, but potentially two more with Desire nearby. He gets that Glimmer Cape off, and he's able to hide himself away behind the Tier 2 tower. Still, though, again, Brame, they pull off one, but nothing else is really falling in their direction.
And on the back of this arcane room for BZM, he's just gotten every rune this game, it feels like. Putting it to amazing use in that fight to get the full link on that Bloodseeker, able to chase him down.
He is in some trouble. And by some trouble, I mean he's dead on his screen the second he saw Amar.
BZM's back to base. That was still the same arcane rune from that earlier fight. Cleaning them up. He's just going for straight ags here on this Storm. I'm going to watch this. This is one of the best targets they can get in the Hoodwink, though.
It was a good start from Brame, but you could see it's becoming like a two-pronged attack there. As they got Taiga, they throw the Abaddon over, and immediately, what are they doing to Yuragi? Like, there's nothing stopping him or BZM from just continuing their path forward.
Once that full link comes out like that, that fight is done. There's no way you're turning an engagement like that. Even if Bloodseeker somehow gets powered up, he's dealing nothing through that and the Atrophy Aura. OG also really understands some of these small combinations with this Underlord. I think they played another game where they had Dragon Knight Underlord and he took the Breathe Fire talent. You can really abuse some of this like attack damage reduction stacking. And you just get in a game where we're talking about the damage coming out from Brame. That's part of what this Underlord does. He just removes a decent chunk of it from your side regardless. So between that and the link that you have to worry about, it's Bloodseekers. It's like he's throwing feathers at you.
Feathers don't really hurt much unless you've got something in the realm of thousands of them being thrown at the same time.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of feathers. On the flip side, though, they did pick up this gem on Desire, so trying to gain back some map control, and we did see 11 finish that Ags on Chaos Knight. This CK Ags can turn some game rounds. Ooh. They're going to find
They found themselves the Hoodwink. Yeah.
So this is kind of the scrappiness of Brame.
It's, you know, not turning off the signature style. They're still going for it. They're still trying to find kills here. Yeah, they've paid for it a couple times. 7K, not insurmountable. Certainly possible to come back with, and they just got to find the right options. And I think that does come from getting pickoffs around the map if they can.
Definitely their best avenue towards getting some reclaimed control here, because the 5-on-5s, I think we've already concluded, they're impossible at this point.
Yeah.
I do want to say, BZM, you were talking about nulls. He's doing some fountain skipping. This is the correct term for it, just abusing these nulls with the fountain region to constantly kill this bottom wave and zip back. He's even got 6 nulls. He's not even using the 6, so I don't know if that was a misbuy or what. I don't know how many nulls you need, but a lot of that network dead on the courier. He's kind of waiting for it.
There it is. But not enough space for it anymore with the 6 null talismans taking up a lot of room. It's time to have a bit of a garage sale, maybe get rid of that. But he'll turn it into an Ags and still hold on to 6 null talismans, probably.
You know, I had a Storm do this in one of my pubs. I thought it was kind of griefing, but now that I'm watching, a top tier professional do it, it's changing my mind a little. This seems pretty annoying. 11 throwing out some Roche timer there, I believe.
Found unworthy.
Potentially Roche timing. Very iconic number if it is a Roche time.
That's what I'm hoping it is. But and he's a little off, but Roche is going to spawn early. OG would love this Aegis. They can use this Aegis to end the game if they get it. They're going to have another really strong set of items here. I don't know if Brames can contest.
So BZM, he just bought the whole Ags blessing. He doesn't want to give up the null talismans. Why would he?
That's one way to do it. That's a style move for sure. You know, that's I don't know if you're doing that in a TI Grand Final in terms of efficiency, but he's definitely feeling himself in this game, and who can blame him? He's got that Ags Synth shard as well, the Ags blessing. This guy's got a ton of net worth that's not in his inventory. It frees up more space for null talismans. Why not?
He doesn't want to show in his inventory. It's like if you were wearing a Supreme shirt and covering it with a sweater. It's like, you know it's there. You don't need to show it off. I don't know if Supreme's hip or anything. I just kind of took a guess at a brand, but hopefully that works.
That was a bold guess at the brand, I must say, but this is a very interesting strat. Like, they're just giving both mid and bottom to BZM to constantly do these jumps, and the rest of them are just playing top in an enemy jungle. Not sure there's that easy a counterplay to this. They can't touch Storm in the leaps. It's stopping the split push. It just lets OG hit their timings, and now they're smoking up. Full Satanic on both Amar and Jiragi.
Oh my God. Yeah, they're getting a lot of gold.
I don't know if there's any damage in the world to break through this at the moment.
We might have to see, because they are coming over. Maybe looking to go forward. They've got the Fiend's Gate and immediately look at DeVito, who pops the BKB and TP's out. But meanwhile, BZM, he'll go after Desire, and, well, Desire won't have the HP or the will to continue on.
He's done jumping creeps.
That's an easy kill. Yeah, no more creep jumping. It's now hero jumping.
Exactly. He's elevated on top of that quiver. This is one of the most interesting Storm builds I've seen in a long time.
Oh, now he's spotted Thug. And they'll go back and forth for a little bit. I feel like BZM can kind of pull the cord at any moment. He doesn't really need to be scared of this.
Oh, he feels invincible this game for sure.
They're still looking at 11. They've used this Fiend's Grip, or Fiend's Gate, in so many different ways. They throw out the Hunter's Boomerang, they've got the Sharpshooter, and the kill onto 11. It really is becoming just that simple for OG.
Oh, this game is turning into that cleanup stage almost, it feels like, where they're just having some fun with it, playing around this Storm 2-lane shenanigans. There's a full Assault Kuros on Thug, so that's going to help the damage output a little bit in terms of this DK scaling, helping his other 2 core scale as well. Maybe they can get some good fight off the back of this CK Ags, double Dragon Knight illusion, kind of finding the easy supports, but Abaddon's not easy to bring down, and Taiga's the best jump, but he's just never showing.
And Misha has died once, and he's going Ags, which I love on this Abaddon.
Oh, it's insanely good. I've seen Snake can kind of be the other big Abaddon Ags buyer in this region, so it's even better if you get it free from Roche.
Could potentially happen if the timing continues, where they could just go to the next Roche and get an Ags blessing.
Or the next game here. That's what it looks like. It's on their radar here with this top push. Don't even need the Storm. I guess you can always set up a Rift for him.
Yeah, you can jump in anytime. Mark can open the door wide open to have the Storm join them, and they do lift, but you've got the gate, you're ready to go. Amar going the other way, trading places with BZM, and then coming on back. They've got the 2-second stun. They're going to go through. They've got the Rupture, but the ball lining over, looking for Thug. And they've got the Aegis out of the hands of this Razor to start with the stun coming in on Amar. It's a 4-second stun, a 2-man silence coming out from the Blood Right. They've got the Centaur stomping him down, but still lacking a little bit of damage to make sure that they can jump into this one, as the top tier 3 is slowly but surely getting lowered. And OG, well, they've lost the Aegis, and their mid-tier 2's getting pushed by a double siege creep. Didn't cost them more than just an Aegis, and they'll back away. Why not?
Well, not the worst case scenario for Brame, I guess, because, you know, the game didn't end off that Aegis, so that's more than I thought would happen in that fight. OG just giving them a little respect for this high ground defense that can come out with the buybacks and the CK illusions, the Kato Blast. That's a fight that's hard for Storm to jump super deep, because the sustain can keep the supports alive, and it's hard for his team to join. So I can understand OG not wanting to necessarily risk the game on that exact fight when they can still just as easily close out the map.
Refresh, reset, go again. Don't put too much at risk. It seems like Brame, they've got some vision down. They can kind of hope to see where these guys on OG are to get out there and farm a little bit, because for a majority of this map, or majority of this game number 1, they've been really shut down to their side of the map. We saw how long that BZM was able to control basically every power rune up to a certain point. It felt like the first 20-25 minutes they were all his. Brame kind of getting comfortable across the river for a moment, but is it just a well laid out plan to trap Brame away from their base to take a good fight?
Definitely hard to get the vision. That gem helped a little. They were able to establish some on the other side of the map. Along with that CK Ags, at least they can kind of shadow push some of these lanes without dying on the main heroes. The downside is it's going to create an XP differential, and this Storm zipping back bottom. He's already level 25, so he has this Overlord attack bounce talent, which is huge with his build, because he can upgrade the Overload on everybody around him, pull everybody into that Ags. He has a full refresher in his backpack too. This Storm build is incredibly interesting this game. It's kind of powering up his whole team at the same time, keeping Brame split push in check. He's just not afraid of anything.
And I don't think he's been afraid of anything for a long while. He has really played this game pretty perfect, and I'm watching him put the refresher in when he's in the fountain, and then forget the 13 health regen, the 7 mana regen, get an ult talisman in there for most of the time. But of course, when I first start talking about it, he's keeping the refresher in there for now.
I think he's trying to do the math too, to be honest. I'm not sure. I know I'm probably over focusing on it, but this is such a weird development for the hero. It almost feels like a the way you play Tinker or something, you know, like you defend these lanes while the rest of your team groups up, and then you can join them. And of course, you can join them off the back of that rift, so it doesn't even need bots or anything. It's a very cool use of their lineup and the hero design, pushing it to new boundaries, so to say. It must be super annoying for Brame. They just see this storm zip here every time. There's nothing they can do. It's like a slap in the face, you know?
Yeah, and he's literally been doing it in front of Thug every single time. Thug has been down here pretty much stationed in the bottom lane, sitting to make sure that this creep wave isn't getting that far, maybe find a little bit of CS. Meanwhile, Yuragi comes over, looks at Nabito, forces the BKB TP out, and they'll take control of the bottom lane this time.
Well, OG,
easily done.
They're either waiting for this next Roche, or they might just try and force the fight. Brame's playing pretty scrappy and ratting the map, so it's not that easy for them to just run in and get a 5v5, but feels like their lineup has everything they need at this point. Amar he's closing in on 6 slots here. Yuragi's basically fully slotted. They're getting every rune.
A lot of gold. Oh my gosh. 26k on this Underlord.
Yeah, he is huge. Already level 25 as well. He's got a hard Satanic. OG just really abused Brame's damage output this game. They itemized for it. They took over the map. Didn't really give them any windows or opportunities to get back. This is just formulaic.
Yeah, really putting on a clinic on how to play the entirety of the map while also shutting out Brame from getting most of the map. And it's not just shown by the net worth. Obviously, 20k lead, that's massive. But the XP difference, like you alluded to earlier, it's huge. They've got Storm already past the level 25, Razor already there, the Underlord, and even your Abaddon and your Hoodwink are both level 20.
These are scary level 25 talents too on a lot of these heroes. Huge lead.
They found themselves the Bloodseeker, and with the Sharpshooter again, Taiga able to snipe a kill out.
BZM even refreshed for that, so guaranteeing the kill with the second pull. That's like, you know, throwing my net worth in your face. You know, I can refresh for a second single hero Vortex. Why not?
Still going for the top tier 3. BZM back at base. Eventually, like we saw the last time, I would expect a Fiend's Gate to come down again. If he even needed.
He's probably thinking about it. Sure, they would love for Brame to just take the fight, but Brame's just poking them. They don't want to fully engage, I think. At the same time, you're just going to lose your base here slowly.
They're watching as the destruction continues, and every time Amar has been stunned by the CK, Aphotic Shield is ready to go.
On top of that, Abaddon Ags, so even if he doesn't have shield, he can just Ags-ult, run in, tank the damage. I don't think there's any way Brame can kill a single hero in this game at this point. They need a rift of the lifetime in terms of pulling him into all these CK illusions, blinding light the rest, something to this degree. But it's hard to isolate these OG heroes.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to really not be grouped up, minus BZM, who's been moving around the map and doing his thing for the entirety of the game. And OG, it's almost like they're implementing emotional damage. Well, it's not, you know, we'll kick them down so hard they won't even be ready for game 2.
This does feel like playing with your food a little bit. I mean, BZM just put his refresher on the courier. He's not even holding it. There's just so much gold coming in for this OG squad. They don't need half of it. Maybe they can get Amar. All right.
They've got the damage. When you get a solo target, it looks pretty good for Brame.
That was a lot faster than I expected. OG.
But now on the other side of that, Spartan getting taken out by BZM, who's ready to go. They pop the smoke, and we'll see if they can get into this one. OG just standing their ground on the high ground. Ball lightning in, looking for 11, pulls him in with the Vortex. They've got the blood right down, but it is looking like CK's in a bit of a bad position as Yuragi's over on a Nabito, who ends up TPing out. They get the kill into 11. They pop the borrowed time. So OG feel pretty safe to continue forward, but Thug with the BKB, he'll TP as well.
Not all that bad considering Brame's position. That Underlord kill was way faster than I thought. And they do have a full Silver Edge on this Dragon Knight, coupled with all of those CK illusions. It's like we were talking about. If you can find a single hero for OG away from this Abaddon and his other cores, you can melt them. But that felt like the one rare occurrence they might get this game in terms of, you know, OG seeing just how tanky they are.
It felt a little odd to me that Brame continued forward. They got this kill,
Nice
then they continued to push out towards the river.
Yeah.
It cost them going out that far.
It's hard to blame them, though, when they've kind of been stuck in their base in the side lanes for 20 minutes and you get a huge kill like that. Feels like you might have an advantage, but definitely just a little too deep. You still have to respect the amount of damage that's going to come out from Yuragi. On top of this, Taiga,
still there.
Hoodwink is... He's dealing a lot in any of the stuns that OG can land, which it's only the Storm pull, but can come out from very far away.
Breakout onto Yuragi, but he pops the Satanic. He's still getting low. The ball ending in from BZM. And now they pop the Lincolns. They're going to look for this stun. It lands onto the Razor, but he's surviving. They've got the borrowed time pop by Misha, and Abaddon's just able to keep his Razor alive. But Thug looking in once again. He's got the stun as well as the Breathe Fire. They're into the Fireball. They get the kill there. They'll take out the Aegis. They'll look over at the rest. They've got themselves a Bane of Malice. He lands onto the Chen. Navito trying to fight away. They've got the break onto the Storm Spirit. The 4-second stun coming out from the CK, but they've lost Spartan. He buys back into the fight with the BKBB pop by Yuragi, going after Navito, who just gets out of the range of that static link. Again, Brame, there are points in these fights where it's looking good, especially there. Yuragi again getting pulled in and slowed up.
Oh, he got pulled out of the rift.
Yeah, 3-second stun, but CK taking more damage maybe than Yuragi's taking it all. They've got the two-man Vortex on the backlines. They get the kill onto 11. They look over at Spartan. They'll finish off Desire. No buybacks for these supports. They'll buy back on 11, and this middle set of racks is going to go down maybe even more. They've glyphed the creeps to continue forward and look towards the tier 4s instead.
OG wants this game to end right now.
Oh, yeah.
Another Vortex
to be over. The Vortex just makes it so easy for the Sharpshooter to land as well.
This Bloodseeker, he cannot engage these heroes even when he has some damage power up. Your throne's going down, though, and GG from Desire.
Yeah, GG boys is called by Desire. OG taking game 1.